Welcome to Fishing in Germany, and this is the third video I'm going to do on. I'm kind of progressively getting more difficult, but they're all easy. For easy rigs for fishing, and these are designed for rivers, but you can do it in lakes as well. They're not designed for rivers. What am I saying? I'm using them on rivers. All right, so this time I want to go into using a method feeder. Um, I only newly got acquainted with these, I have to say, over the last year. And I was watching a video, a really good channel, this carp and catfishing channel, um, where it's a guy from the U.S., and he was saying a lot of this stuff for carp fishing, it's like you can't find it in the U.S. I have no idea because I haven't lived in the U.S. since 1998. But he's saying he had to buy it imported, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But a method feeder, I've always looked at them, I don't know, because I mean, to buy the whole kit, they're kind of more expensive than just buying a weight or a cage or something. And essentially, it works like a feeder cage. Um, I picked one up at this little fishing shop I go to. I found the cheapest one, a set, and it's by Browning, and it's a method feeder set. There's a lot of brands that make them. You could probably find knockoffs in China, I'm quite sure too. So this whole kit was like €10 and 90 cents, roughly $12, $13, I don't know. And it came with two weights. Let's see, they're 20 gram and 40 gram, two 20s, two 40s, I think. And it also comes with a mold. That's this plastic. I'm dropping it. Plastic thing. Come back here. So essentially, what you do is you put your fish food in there. You don't pack it. Just set it in there, a big mound of it lightly. And then I take the weight and I push it into there firmly and remove it. If it's not sticking, sometimes you gotta I found to twist it. Like I'll push that way. Let me show you. Like that, not just pull it out. I'll kind of turn it both ways, and that helps to get it to stick in. Ideally, you'll have your hook bait at the end on a line. I found for this method, it's better to use a shorter one, maybe like 8 inches, 10 inches. You can experiment with it, of course. And in that case, I'll put maybe it's, for example, a hair rig with a boilie. I set it into the bottom, or a piece of corn, whatever. And then I put the fish food on top, and then I pack it in. So then the hook is just right there nested in the food, and the food's slowly releasing. The fish are eating from it. They start to get more confident, and bam, they take the hook bait. So yeah, these are pretty cool. One thing I like about them as opposed to a cage feeder is they don't snag as easy. I've had, the cage feeder, these things are pretty bulky and they snag really easy. So I've used the same one for a long time. There was 4 in this kit, and okay, I lost my first one last time I went fishing, but I did catch something off it, so it was worth it. All right, so I'm going to show you how I rig it. I've already rigged one, so I don't bore you through sitting here tying knots that you already hopefully know how to tie or can look up how to tie. So here's my rig. I have the cage feeder. And I mean the way they come, it's there's this rubber tip at the end, and then there's a plastic tube that goes through it. So it's actually sliding. They fit firmly, snugly into it, and it's when there's tension, it pulls it loose. Then there's a what do you call these? A barrel swivel that's in this tube at the bottom. So I tie my main line, I run my main line through it, and then tie it to the barrel swivel, and then attach my lead with the hook bait. And for this one, I made my own hair rig for it, so I made it really short and hook and a pop-up bully. So essentially, after I'm done packing it, there's going to be a mound of food here, and this is going to be sitting right on the top with the hook just nestled right in there. So yeah, if you can see it better, it's got these ribs to just hold the food. All right, these don't hold food as well or as long as a cage feeder, I found. And it's going to depend on your food consistency, how wet you make it, or how packable it is, how sticky it is. I find with these, I have to check and cast more often, and it's usually empty quicker. It doesn't hold as much as the cage will either. But they work. I like them, like I said, they don't snag as much. They're a little bit more sensitive. And yeah, I mean, when that whole concept of putting the food into the ball of food, it works really well. So usually with these, of course, I'm going to bottom fish, and I've caught chub, I've caught carp, I've caught bream, I believe a few roach even this way. So a very kind of cool way to fish. It's not super expensive. Like I said, this was, I mean, it's, yeah, for me, it's a bit expensive just go buy gear that I know eventually is going to get snagged and lost. So this was the cheaper one I found. So it was like $10.90 for weights and one mold. What I've also discovered though is all the kits, you can buy the weights separately or you can buy the weight with a kit. I don't think they're all interchangeable. They probably make them just be jerks a little bit differently so it won't fit in another mold. You don't really need the mold. There's a good chance you'll probably lose. I'm surprised I haven't lost it yet. Especially if they make it black and I go night fishing, so it's really surprising I haven't lost it. If you don't have the mold, it's no big deal. You can just put a clump of food in your hand and pack it in your hand, and then just set the hook there. I was using it even without setting the hook inside of it, just letting the hook dangle. It's kind of like essentially using a method feed or a cage feeder in that sense. All those ways have worked, so with anything like this, there's no exact science. Then you got to experiment and sometimes change to the condition. So yeah, that's how I've been using a method feeder. And if it's new to you, there you go. To order them, check eBay. I mean, you might have to order overseas, so the shipping is going to gouge you. I haven't checked, but I would imagine there's a lot of Chinese knockoffs of this stuff too. And I mean, it's kind of hard to really go wrong with it. I don't think spending twice the amount for a known brand is really going to make a difference when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if anyone has any tips on these, because like I said, they're sort of new to me as well. Love to hear them. That's it, and I'll be back soon.